Working on the lighting for the engines. What I've done is I cut me a strip of some 0.6 styrene. It's thick enough to help me get some light block, and it'll fit in here. Also, I took my chisel blade and I chiseled some of this spine off here, so it gives me a ledge to be able to put this piece in here. It fits in there real good. So now what I need to do is I need to mark where I want my SMDs to go on here, and I'll glue them to this side, but I'll drill holes first to pry the wires through the back. And then I'll take some tape and I'll tape the inside of the blue just at the width, and I'll also tape the outside here and then spray everything else black, so it'll give me some more light blocking and it'll force the light out the back. I've taped the light blue plastic lens piece with blue tape on the outside and also on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually paint this in white on the inside, and then once that dries, then I'll paint it black on the outside. Maybe I'll get some white on the inside to help reflect the light. I pulled the masking off my engine grill. What I wound up doing was spraying with some Rust-Oleum Automotive gray primer inside and out, and then I went back with some black primer and sprayed on the outside. So this should give me enough light block, and with the gray inside it'll reflect, so it should work fine. Now I got to work on the SMD strip. Working on the light strip, what I did is I measured out 10 spaces for 10 35-28 SMDs. I got those at HDA modelworx, Jerry. I'll put a link in the description. So I drew a center line and then I marked out my space. I took this tool, which I don't know what it's called, but I took this and I started a hole, and then I took my 1/8 inch drill bit and a pin vise, drilled the holes out. Then I went back with this tool and opened the back up more so that I could pressure fit the SMDs in there, so they're flush to the strip of plastic. I think this is 0.4 plastic. It's pretty thick. Then I went ahead and super glued the edges to hold it. So now what I need to do is take my 5-minute epoxy and I'm going to seal the backs of them to hopefully help keep the wires from pulling out. Plus, once it's all dry, I'll be able to paint the back of this black, and hopefully that'll eliminate light leaks coming out of the back. Let me put it together real quick and I can show you what it looks like. I wound up going back and making some more space in those spines like I showed earlier, so that when this does get glued in all the way, it'll be pretty close to flush to the back here. So I'll be able to seal it with tulip or whatever I need to get rid of the light leaks. But now let's turn it on and see what it looks like. There we go. That plastic really diffuses the light, and since I've got 10 of them in there so close together, it just looks like one solid light and gives me the exact effect that I really want. Finishing up the engines, I did go and put some 5-minute epoxy on the back side of all these SMDs, and then I went in with some liquid tape, which is liquid electrical tape essentially, and with a toothpick slowly dabbed it on the back here to give me a light block. And when I tested it in the ship, it wasn't full enough on the edges. So what I did is I put in on each side another 35/28 SMD, and it actually filled it up a lot better, and I like the way it looks. So I'm going to let this dry, then I'll put it in the hull, I'll hook it up and come back and show you what that looks like. Alright, I've got it in there. I glued it just on these two outside pegs, just in case it doesn't fit right and I need to pull it out or something. But I've got all the wires hooked up and everything to my battery source. So let me get this in position and then I'll turn it on and see what it looks like. Oh yeah. Yeah, those two on the outside just fills that bar perfectly. That's exactly what I wanted. Now I'm going to finish off the engine part here. I forgot to mention that I use shrink tube to gather all my wires together to keep them a little more organized. You can also get this shrink tube from Jerry at HDA ModelworX. As I mentioned before, I'll put the link in the description. These two outside wires are the two end SMDs that I put on after I'd already shrink wrapped all the other wires. So that's why they're out by themselves. Otherwise I would have put them in with the rest of them. Also, I did go in and put a piece of styrene on each of the ends here, covering those SMDs, and I first super glued it just to hold it in place, and then I put some 5-minute epoxy on there to get a good seal all the way around, and then once that was dried I put on some tulip to light block it while I had the lights on so I could see where the light was. So now that everything is set here, as far as the engines are concerned, I want to put the top half of the hull on top here and then connect the wires and show you what the lights look like. Wanted to do a full test fit here so you can see what it actually looks like with both the top and bottom of the hull put together. So let's turn it on and look at it. Yeah, there we go. See those two side ones I added really make the difference. Get a full even beam of light. Okay, I got a raise. Once they give you a raise, they always seem to give you more work. So I'm probably going to be cutting these videos a little shorter. Originally I planned to do the engines and the cockpit in the same video, but I'm going to split it in half. So this one, part 4, is going to be about the engine, and then part 5 will be about doing the cockpit. So this is going to do it for part 4. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing, and I will see you for part 5.